Sunday is one of those days, I'm afraid, when I have a huge amount of teaching. So YouTube tends to be something I squeeze in, and and Eurovision is something else. Last night I was teaching, and I managed to squeeze in a few minutes, just a few minutes of Eurovision. I wasn't terribly impressed. Eurovision 2025, an annual festival of sequins, diplomacy, and crushing disappointment. I got my students to ask me to tell me what the word disappointment actually means. What's its etymology? It comes from the French word. It comes from the French, and it means to have your appointment removed. So Liz Truss was disappointed, literally disappointed, and after barely a month, we also worked out that Liz Truss stayed in office longer than John Paul I was Pope. But when it comes to Eurovision, for the UK, it was another, well, it wasn't even a near miss. It was a well-sung crash out into the 19th place. But the story is richer than the scoreboard. It's a tale of vocal brilliance, a global tremor, and why a chandelier just isn't enough, or changing clothes in the middle of a song just isn't enough. Let's begin with Remember Monday. The UK's plucky trio, Lauren, Holly and Charlotte, weren't just pop hopefuls, they were seasoned performers, West End veterans, vocalists who didn't wobble or wince, and their song What the Hell Just Happened was a musical mashup. Elton's piano runs, Beatles-style mellotron riffs, George Michael phrasing, even a nod to Guys and Dolls. They harmonised with precision, they delivered with charm, and still received a thunderous 0 from the public. So what went wrong? The answer, I think, is excess. The song was clever, perhaps too clever. It wasn't catchy enough. It darted from tempo to tempo, genre to genre, a manic cocktail of theatrical ambition. As one reviewer said, it was like hearing a brand new song every 30 seconds. Eurovision viewers prefer instant impact. Remember Monday offered polyrhythmic intricacy when most people just wanted a chorus they could hum. And staging 2 was part of the puzzle. Ace Bowerman, she of Black, Pink and Dua Lipa, constructed a visual journey from bedroom to catwalk and back again. There was a chandelier, there was skirt ripping, there were callbacks to Buck Fizz, but there was no focus, not really, compared to Austria's winner, JJ, standing on a makeshift raft, tossed about by black and white storms. The UK entry felt like musical ADHD in Lycra, and Austria's JJ, Johannes Pitsch, sang Wasted Love, a countertenor from the Vienna State Opera. JJ channeled his heartbreak into a tempestuous electro ballad armed with nothing but a voice of velvet and theatrical restraint. And that restraint ironically gave him the edge. The jury and the public agreed. Austria took home the glass microphone and the UK took notes. It's Austria's third win. And it's worth saying that while JJ's performance was visually minimalist, it was emotionally enormous. And a reminder that you don't need to fly on a giant phallic microphone, though Finland's Erika Wickman gave it a valiant try. But Eurovision is, of course, not just music, it's theatre with borders. And Israel's presence provoked widespread protests, from the streets of Basel to the social media feeds of half the continent. Spain's broadcaster showed defiance with a message about Palestine broadcast live. The EBU, the contest organiser, piped in artificial applause to drown out boos. And in this sense, Eurovision 2025 was not just a competition, it was a diplomatic balancing act. The UK, post-Brexit, has few natural allies left on the scoreboard, while Norway sends 2 points to Sweden. We're lucky if Luxembourg even gives us a polite nod. So, what are the voting? Once again, the UK was jury loved and public snubbed. Italy gave us 12, the rest gave us silence. And remember, Eurovision voting is positive only. You can vote for, not against. And that means Remember Monday didn't offend. They just failed to ignite the top 10 passion needed to score. And yet they smiled, they threw peace signs, they were gracious in defeat. No awkward green room tantrums, no social media tantrums. Just three young women proud of their work, and they should be. So where does this leave us? We didn't win, we didn't come close, but we weren't humiliated either. We sent a musically ambitious, vocally excellent, visually packed performance, and that's a foundation, not a failure. If Eurovision is joy through music, then let's not ruin it with cynicism. As Scott Mills wisely said, even if we sent Adele, someone would moan that she was off key. And remember Monday? They're not done. We'll just keep coming back until we win, said Lauren Brown. Good, that's the spirit. Next year we go to Austria. Let's remember that Eurovision is not just about victory, it's about vision, connection, and risking everything for 3 minutes of magic. And maybe, just maybe, leaving the chandelier at home.